Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along. We've got another round of your DCD season, and hopefully this one goes better than the last. We're here in Mexico for round number 4 now of the season, and well, it should be a very, very good race that we have on our hands. Chaz, at the moment, as we jump straight into the action, is over a second, or just under even a second, behind Loop Racer at the top. So, sorry, ahead of Loop Racer at the top. Not a good start to the stream, but there we go. But yes, Chaz, just under a second. Almost said it again. Behind, or ahead. We might just start this stream again, to be honest. Jesus, I can't speak today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to another round of your DCD season. We're here for what will be now round number 4 of the season, and well, we're going to jump straight into the action. We're jumping straight into it with a bang. Chaz, who is now just under a second ahead of Luke Racer in P2. We got there, yes! With MCH in P3, 5 tenths back, and then Robert Newbert's a couple of seconds off as he's just set a banker lap as... Why is the game running so slowly? This may be something we fix as we go along, but for now, we will try to deal with it at the very least. No, why is it cooked? We'll just hope that it sort of sorts itself out. If it doesn't, then I'll try to sort it out manually. But yes, Chaz up the top at the moment, just under a second ahead of Luke Racer. Chuck Norris heading through the first sector, allegedly purple. Not sure whether it was or not, because the game does tend to like to lie to you, but invalid anyway, out of the exit of turn number 4, and so he will not be setting a lap time at the moment. Everybody else who hasn't set a lap time is on that push, or is on an out lap at least. DJ Vibes just moved on to that push lap, and oh, what is going on with this stream today? Apologies for these... long screen freezes as they are, as we're just trying to settle into the race here at Mexico. Maybe it's the high altitude, of course, as you would get at Mexico, the highest altitude circuit on the calendar, or maybe it's the high speeds that they go out down the straight that's dizzying the game out. Not sure why that's going on. Hello, Jamie, in the chat. Saying the GOAT is live, but the game is cooked. Well, we haven't got much long left of it. Do not fear. We have just a month and 12 days until F1 25 is released, and hopefully all of our worries are done and dusted. DJ Vibes heading through the final sector now. His first 2 sectors, he came out with a 56.0, and he's now heading through the final sector to see where he is able to go. As now he comes out of the final corner. This is a great camera angle to be able to see exactly what's going on with DJ Vibes. He comes around the final corner. What sort of lap time is the Alpine going to set? It's going to be a 14.8. So P2 for DJ Vibes on debut this time. And he goes 2 tenths quicker than a Loop Racer, as this game is truly cooked. Bryce is invalidated. Floyd is in what will be the second sector into the S section, which is almost a sector in itself, really, because of just how much challenge it will offer the drivers and how different it is to everywhere else on the circuit. Of course, you don't necessarily expect to see this many S's potentially at Kota, but nowhere else really has that dramatic of an S section as Mexico. But now around the final corner, Floyd Pink, is he going to go up to the top? Who knows? There we go, 15.6. No, he's not. He goes into P6. Davey Norris around the final corner in the McLaren, and I think I may be doing a game restart here after qualifying, but we will struggle through qualifying. 8 minutes left, so not enough time for us to do a restart, and well, we will be discussing this in the chat in a couple of minutes, where I beg them to let me restart the game. But yes, at the moment, it's looking as though it's going to be Chaz versus DJ Vibes at the top. Davey Norris, a pacey driver heading through. He's got a 17.1 at the moment, but he's going to hope to improve upon that, but not as it stands. Robert Newbert has just started on his second lap time. His first one being 17.9. I'm actually going to turn the graphics down a little bit to see if that makes a difference. I was literally streaming about 5 minutes ago. No problems at all. And actually, I've lessened the use on the... where am I looking? Graphics settings. The CPU is actually being less used. So we'll go on ultra low. Hopefully that'll speed things up. Robert Newbert's 1.1 seconds up in the first sector, by the way. So that is a huge improvement. The stream's a bit delayed. Yeah, it is. But that is mainly because I put it on my streaming PC. And my streaming PC has an external thing for Wi-Fi. So it is a bit slower. Robert Newbert 2.7 seconds faster after the first 2 sectors. And he's going to be setting what should be a good lap time. 1:14 is the target. Only Chaz, DJ Vibes, and Luke Racer have been able to make it in there. Then it's 5 tenths back to Chuck Norris. And, well, there's a 1.5 tenth window, which Robert Newbert's going to try and breach. Oh, he's going to go into the 1:13s. He's going to go even quicker than any of the other drivers on this circuit so far with a 1:13.8. And Robert Newbert setting down a statement piece here in Mexico and goes up into P number 1. So, impressive stuff there from Robert Newbert. Just to go 2 tenths quicker than Chaz. We'll see what the Aston Martin's able to do. He's not improved on this lap. Whether he's going for another push lap, we'll have to wait and see. He's coming around the final corner now, and he does dive into the pits. So he's not going for another push lap, Briars, in the second sector. It has appeared to speed up, as it is, which is good. But we will see as we head through the session now, and it might, knowing EA, completely jinx me and give me an absolutely horrible stream for the rest of the time. But we'll have to wait and see. As I say, only a month away until F1 25, and I'm so excited personally to get a better streaming, a better running game for my streaming to go on to. Of course, I do a lot of Assetto Corsa stuff as well, so I've experienced the good. I do some R Factor 2 stuff, so I've experienced the better as well. Although with disconnects, R Factor 2 is terrible. But yeah, it is what it is. We're heading out now on our second runs, or our third for some. And, well, we'll see if anybody's able to match Robert Newbert's lap time at the top. Briar's coming into the chat saying it's a second slower than his time trial. What is? If he improved by a second, showing the pace of this league, it wouldn't even be much of an improvement. He would improve to around where MCH is because he's got a lap time that's a second and 2 thousandths off of MCH's in Hoppy's in 6th place. So I've had a lot of guttural commentary recently because I've had Kian Hudendor and Finn Geerts. So I'm getting into it, but I think he's going to be Hoppy winner. I remember in this race because of course it's difficult to make that switch over. Chuck Norris heading out of the first sector. He's improving, but only just by 0.015 seconds, and he invalidates once again. He really struggles with keeping it on the circuit in that corner. And the Williams, I mean, I held my breath because I wanted to see whether he was able to make his way through that corner. He wasn't. And the Williams now doesn't have much opportunity for another run. He's going to try and do it, but actually going for it is a whole another thing. 4 minutes left in the session. Yellow flags out because that was the Williams getting out of the way. Floyd Pink heading through the first sector now. And we're going to see whether Ferrari is able to put himself. He's going to come up to the first sector split time. He's going to want to improve as well on that 15.6 as he comes up to it. But he's not improving just yet. He might be going for a double lap run, which means that the first lap is a write-off because he's just getting everything warmed up and the fuel gone, crucially, for that second run. It's all about getting as little fuel in the car as you possibly can for that final run. That is what that approach is based on. And, well, with the game forcing you to use 2.7, it is, of fuel, then if you are able to go around for 2 laps, then it gives you a massive benefit because instead of having 1.7 in the car, you will have, or managed correctly, you will have 0.9, something like that, 1.0, something like that. But, yeah, Floyd Pink coming around to start his lap. And we'll see where the Ferrari is able to put himself as we head to the final few runs around this Mexican Grand Prix circuit. And the Ferrari is looking to put himself on pole position at the moment. He sits in P7. Quite a chunk off, actually. Almost 2 full seconds off of the driver at the top of the standings. So he's got a lot of work to do to get up there, but I have no doubt that he has the pace to do it. Across the first sector split time, again, not an improvement, but it's closer than 7/10 was before, 0.068, suggesting that he did actually go for the strategy I thought he was going for, and he's going to now try and go for that lap absolutely flat out. If it doesn't work out, then no worries, because he's got more time to make it work once again. But now heading through the S's, this is where time is really lost and gained as well, on a lap of the Autodromos Hermanos Rodriguez. And coming up through the second sector split time is improved by 0.2 of a second. So he is finding this time on this lap. But is it enough to challenge for the top couple of positions? Yellow flags out in the first sector because that's somebody who has gone off of the circuit to pull past. But Floyd Pink comes up to the line. What sort of lap time is he going to be able to set? It's going to be a 1:15.3. So it's an improvement, but only getting up past MCH. And he's now, I think, not got enough time to go for another run. But it is the end of that of Floyd Pink's session, surely. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. Chuck Norris heading through the second sector now. The Williams hoping to improve on his lap time. A 15.3 is what he has set right now. Coming up to the second sector split time, it's an improvement by 0.2 of a second, and not too bad there from him. He's now going to try and finish off this lap in style. He's got 0.5 to catch up to Luke Racer, but I'm not sure whether he's going to be able to do that. Up to the line he comes. Is he going to be able to find those 0.3 he so sorely needs in that final sector? He's not, and he doesn't actually improve at all. He loses time in that final sector, and the Williams drops down to, well, he will stay in 5th place, but he drops down, and I'm sure he will drop down further with the track evolution, meaning that all the other drivers will have a significant advantage on this final run. MCH heading through the first sector. He's improved by 1.6. Briers has not improved, but as he comes up to the first sector split time, we'll see whether he is, and he's up by 3.73. So he's found a lot of time in that first sector, switching back to Hoppy, who's in that second sector now, heading through the S's, looking to gain as much time as he physically can in order to make his way up the field. 7th place is where he stands at the moment, but he spins, and that's his front wing gone. And that is MCH's session finished. And he will start from a maximum P7. Briers has slid off the circuit as well. So those two, their laps have completely gone in the last couple of corners, and now attention turns to the last few drivers able to set lap times. Davy Norris could be setting a lap time as he heads through the first sector. He comes up to the line and he's only 0.011 seconds off, so the McLaren, who's on last, needs to find that time that somewhere he lost, because he is 0.6 of a second down on Briers, and a whole second to MCH up ahead as Chaz goes quicker than Robert Newbert. And he takes that provisional pole, so we'll switch over actually to the Red Bull as he tries to challenge Chaz for that podium and for that P1 around the final corner, who's improving by a 10th. Is he going to improve by any more as he comes up to the line? Robert Newbert snatches pole off of the hands of Chaz. Luke Racer goes into 3rd place. DJ Vibes will not be improving. It's just down now to Davy Norris as to who will be on pole position. Robert Newbert snatching it back in the dying moments from Chaz, and it's a slide from Davy Norris. Not the first that we've seen out of the S's, but it solidifies Robert Newbert on that pole position on his return to DCD. Chaz, on his debut in DCD, down in P2. So, two very, very strong lap times from two drivers who needed to put in strong lap times for reputation purposes tonight. Robert Newbert sits on pole position with Chaz alongside him on that front row. That is absolutely huge for this race, as they both have a significant pace advantage over the rest of the field. But yeah, those top two in the 13s, that is a perfect start to this race weekend for them. And, well, they've got a big gap up to between those top two and 3rd place. That is your qualifying session done. The Red Bull of Robert Newbert sitting in P1, Chaz in P2. And it's an all-British front row. Luke Racer in P3 with DJ Vibes in 4th. Chuck Norris taking that 5th place away with DJ Vibes in... No, with Floyd Pink even in P6. Then it's Hoppy, Briars and Davey Norris rounding out your field. The bottom 3 really just... I mean, they had laps and they were improving on them, but just crashing out of them at completely the wrong time, which meant that they were not able to set a lap time, was so crucial. And, well, Hoppy, Briars and Davey Norris will be starting from the very back of this field. Briars and Davey Norris will be particularly disappointed in their laps, as they were nowhere near up to the pace that we or they were expecting. DJ Vibes coming to the chat saying he just ran out of fuel, which is a big shame. Don't forget as well that we have to wait until we ready up. We wait until we ready up for everybody to be ready. And, well, it's whatever the admins say goes. So whenever the admins say go, that is when we go. Of course, DJ Vibes, the only new driver to the league tonight, and I'm sure he knows that with all the experience that he has. But just making sure that that is confirmed in the minds of all the drivers. But there we go. We're going to go at 7:25. It's 7:22 at the moment. I'm going to send you back to jam out to a bit more Bosnov. So don't go away. Hang on, we're going to 5 lights here. Is this the actual race start here in DCD? No, it's not. Okay. So we will be going to jam out to a bit of Bosnov. Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day here in DCD, and we're here in Mexico for what is going to be an intriguing contest. 36 laps around the Mexican Grand Prix await us, and 9 drivers as well. But yes, should be an intriguing contest. We've got about 2 minutes until the race starts. I think everybody's going to be going for mediums, hards, or hards, mediums. It doesn't look like rain is going to come down on the circuit, so I think it should be all right. Robert Newbert and everybody else, in fact, on those mediums. Robert will be leading us away. Chaz is in P2. Those two, I think, will be scrapping all race long for that race lead. And I think that's just going to be the case the whole way through, if I'm honest with you. Because just that pace advantage they had was absolutely insane. However, any mistakes, any disadvantages that end up coming their way, and it's a swap. The race will certainly be interesting, as Gaming Infinity said in the chat. But yeah, something else that should be noted as well is that we have a driver sent to the back of the field. That driver being... Why does it say 0 concurrent viewers? Because I can see people in chat. That driver being DJ Vibes, who was the one who readied up. Well done on him for owning up, but he will start from the back of the field now. Safety car predictions. 1. I don't think there'll be too many. I think 1 is probably what we'll peak at. But I'm not sure. You and Nike will be fighting for 1 point. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean... It's between P8 and P9, so 2 points, in fact. You've doubled it. But, yeah. Race day should be a very, very intriguing contest between 2 drivers at the top. Many drivers in behind. And if any of them can have the race pace that they did not demonstrate in qualifying, then we should be seeing some incredible action on our hands. 36 laps of the Autodromos Hermanos Rodriguez circuit awaits. I thought I was going to call the... I thought it was going to come on then, but yeah. The driver's being tentative. This always happens when somebody readies up too early. Everyone gets tentative, and then we all wait for one person to go, and then we all go. So we might not even get started. There we go. We've gotten started. We're going to go to the 5 red lights here in Mexico. And the action's underway. Chaz gets off to a good start. He tries to pull alongside Robert Newbert as they head down the long straight towards turn number 1, but he's not going to be able to do so. He pulls into the slipstream, as that is Luke Racer trying to pull alongside. It's 3 wide. It's a Mercedes sandwich, and the fitting is Chuck Norris as we head out into turn number 1. Chaz has pulled around the outside of Robert Newbert, can't make his move. MCH or Hoppy even in P3 with Chuck Norris moving up ahead of Luke Racer into P4. Chuck Norris moving up ahead of the Mercedes and winning out that Mercedes sandwich, moving into a different one now, this time for track position. It's down the inside for Luke Racer potentially on Chuck Norris. Can't quite make that move stick, but that's a send there from Floyd, and he goes round. It was a send on Luke Racer. That was ambitious considering that he was already turning into the corner, but Floyd Pink dropping right down now to the rear of the field, and that is our first not casualty of the race, but that is our first driver out of contention, really, for this one, as Chaz follows Robert Newbert through in the Aston Martin. Is he going to be able to make a move? Not quite yet. Davy Norris gets past Briers. They said they were going to be fighting over 1 point. Well, they are currently fighting over a 2-point difference. 7th and 8th is where they both scrap over. Davy Norris and Briers are currently sitting just outside of the DRS range of DJ Vibes. Don't forget as well, DRS is absolutely crucial, as if you have it out of the final corner, you get 2 doses of it. And it has now been enabled, and they'll get it on lap number 3 as Chaz closes into Robert Newbert. And I said this fight was going to go on all race long, and it is underway now. Chaz to the inside of turn number 1. Robert gets that grip done and gets ahead of the Aston Martin as they head out of the first couple of corners. But can Chaz get the power down on the exit? And he pulls to the inside line, so he's going to get that grip on the exit, the traction as well, and it's down the inside. Robert sweeping through around the outside and holding on to that position. Chaz just tucking in behind, and Hoppy waiting for that opportunity. Chuck Norris 1.8 seconds back, so the gaps have already been split. And as it stands, the battles are for the podium and for the wooden spoon in 4th place. Chuck Norris 1.8 seconds back. Hoppy dropping out of that DRS range and he won't have it as Chaz gets the first dose of DRS down here and into the stadium section and out of sector number 2. And he's now 1.2 seconds back. So the Mercedes already building a race of his own, and he wants to be able to take that position and hold on to it as he heads through the race. Everybody on a set of the medium compound of tyre. And, well, we could be seeing Floyd Pink in for the next couple of laps to make a gamble. As I said, no wet conditions. It's not looking like today. And the stop is lap 16 to 28, where they're going to switch over to the harder compound tyres. Although if they're pitting on lap number 28, I think they're going to be pitting more for a set of the soft compound of tyre. DJ Vibes getting through and Chuck Norris with the DRS nice and simply moving up. Chaz getting past Robert Newbert for that lead as well. The Aston Martin now leads this race, and with that double dose of DRS, he's going to be able to maintain it despite Robert being in that slipstream. And also having potentially better straight line speed because he was holding that position rather than losing time to the drivers behind. But yeah, Chaz holding on to the lead at the moment. Luke Racer down the inside of Chuck Norris makes that move stick, but Chuck Norris, little love tap on the exit of the corner as he tries to sweep his way down the inside through this contact, and Luke Racer's off the circuit. He's back on ahead of Davey Norris and Chuck Norris without a penalty, but he is back onto the circuit in P5 and not quite sure how he's managed to avoid a penalty there as Chuck Norris has had further issues and drops down to P8 behind Briars now. And, well, that's a couple of the drivers out of circulation for these positions further up, but the top 2 remain the top 2 as Chaz sets the fastest lap of the race, but Robert Newbert could be getting past as soon as this straight. He's got that DRS, he's closing in as they head down it. He's opened up the DRS as he opens up the outside line now and breezes past the Aston Martin and into that first place position. And as I said, they're going to scrap all race long. David Norris gets past Luke Racer for P5. He's 2.6 seconds behind DJ Vibes for P4 at the moment. And I think, to be fair, he might just be happy with this position. I could be wrong. But I think at the moment, P5 is a good place for the man who started almost at the back of the field. As I said, Floyd Pink does come into the pits. Those mediums do not last long, and I think he's gone for an undercut. Don't think he had any front wing damage, as no, he's coming out of the pits nice and sharply. I don't think he had any wing damage there. So, very, very early pit stop. These mediums really do not last long, though. Something I've noticed, running a number of races around this circuit, is that they really do not last long. And they're now going to try and make them extend their stint as Chaz must have made a mistake on that previous lap. He's 1.5 seconds back from Robert Newbert, who sets the fastest lap of this race. DJ Vibes becomes the second driver to pick up penalties. Briars did the same on that same lap, 3 seconds worth for track limits. But Chaz must have made a mistake, because I'm not seeing any other reason why he's 1.3 seconds back now. DJ Vibes moves up in third place. He's gotten past Hoppy as he's closed in over the last couple of laps, and he's demonstrated the pace that we haven't seen so far this weekend from the Alpine. And yeah, he's passed the Mercedes and looks to close in the gap to Chaz now, 3.9 seconds. So it's dipped under 4 seconds. It is closing, but that is with the aid of DRS, so I don't know whether it's just going to be sorted now, that gap, and it's going to stabilise around 3 points something. But we will have to wait and see between them as to whether that is the case. Of course, DJ Vibes as well having a 3 second time penalty, so disappointing for him already in this race to have a disadvantage. But yeah, it is a shame. But he's going to try and cover it off. Chaz losing more time to Robert Newbert, who may well be setting another fastest lap of the race. He has been incredible so far, has Robert, in terms of his raw natural pace. But no, he doesn't set the fastest lap. The last lap, in fact, was, if I can bring it up, I can't. I didn't know it wasn't on the menu. Anyway, it'll be in here. What was Robert Newbert's last lap time in comparison to Chaz? It was a 1:17.4. Where did that 1:16.0 come from? So he was 0.3 quicker on that last lap, but that 1:16.0 is absolutely insane. Looking at all these other lap times, he's going easily 3 seconds quicker than most of the field. That is absolutely ridiculous stuff from Robert Newbert. So I don't know whether it was Chaz that made a mistake, because he set a 17.7, I believe. So Robert Newbert with a 16.0 has just stamped his authority on this race. And crucially, at a time where he needed to, broken free of that DRS and should be in a prime position to take the victory in this race. Chaz still comfortably the second quickest car, but Robert Newbert with that freakish lap holding on to P1. MCH goes past DJ Vibes into P3. To the point where I'm like, that is not a real lap. Anyway, DJ Vibes will get that DRS. Oh, I said MCH again. This has really been an issue because he told me it was Hoppy. I'm trying, desperately trying to keep that up. DJ Vibes down the straight one more time. We'll take that DRS and Hoppy will pull to the inside and then back to the outside, then back to the inside. Just trying to pick a line here as DJ Vibes chooses the outside. Little swoosh onto the grass as he runs wide, but DJ Vibes up to P3. Not too bad from the Alpine, and he and Hoppy will continue to fight. That double dose of DRS is so devastating for somebody who drops in behind, because you can see DJ Vibes has now opened up a gap of 0.5 of a second to Hoppy in P4. Not that much, but if he's able to pull that gap out already and then through the S's extend it even further, that is an absolute race ruiner. As well, Robert Newbert is now 2.3 seconds ahead of Chaz. Speaking of race ruiners, Robert Newbert has ruined this race and this battle for P1 by being absolutely insane over one lap. I think he's going to be very quick over this next lap, as well as Chaz and Robert both settle into this race, and P3 and P4 are still finding their feet, scrapping with each other 6 seconds off. And, well, they won't be in DRS range anytime soon. What did Robert set on that last lap, then? It was an 18.0, and Chaz set an 18.1. You can see how matched those lap times are, apart from that freakish lap to start off with for Robert Newbert. I wish I had one of those, like, you know, one of the official F1 graphics. DJ Vibes comes into the pits, so those mediums are going off, and that 18 from Robert Newbert did demonstrate that as well, so I think we could be seeing a Red Bull in at some point. However, I think he's going to try and extend the stint, which would be fair enough. I mean, he is 1.9 seconds ahead of Chaz, so he has no real need to come in. He can see as well that he's got the pace over the rest of the field. There is absolutely no reason why Robert Newbert needs to come in at this point in time. He's just going to wait it out and watch everybody else come in. And, well, it is very, very interesting to see Robert with that pace advantage still dropping off, but still doing almost identical lap times to Chaz as well. We didn't push that hard on the 16, which is what made that so absolutely insane. Chaz's personal best, the second fastest driver in this field, 0.6 slower. So in one lap, Robert's basically won himself a race. Is he going to come into the pits on this lap? No. Is anybody going to come into the pits on this lap? I don't know. We've got Davey Norris and Chuck Norris. Davey is going to come in. Is Chuck going to come in as the top three continue on for the 8th lap on a set of those mediums? And I think this is really reaching overcut territory now. Loop Racer, 3-second time penalty. Chuck does stay out, and he will inherit P4 as Davey comes in for softs. That must be a mistake. That must be a mistake. A mistake that he'll be devastated by the way. Because he was so happy to get racing once again this week. Or he was so desperate to get racing again once again this week. But a switch onto the softs has killed off his race. Although, to be fair, it hasn't that badly. He's 8.7 seconds off. He would drop behind Chuck Norris probably. But I think he'd come out around where Floyd Pink and Bryce were, so it would actually light his race up. So if he's in it for racing, then he's lucked out. If he's not, then he hasn't. At the top of the standings, then, is Bramble, who's not racing tonight. So this is a good opportunity, by the way, for the likes of Loop Racer, our 3rd place in the championship. Hoppy in 4th, and everybody else, big gap behind Bramble. Has raced 3, won 3. So good stuff from him. Are we going to see any pit stops this lap? Not from Robert, Chaz, or Hoppy. Any from Chuck, as he might come into the pits? Yes, he does. Big slide. Does that cause any damage? Yes, it does. And Chuck Norris is now missing a front right end plate. That is not good news for the Williams, who comes into the pits. and might take even longer this time. Nope, he's going to continue on with that front wing damage. So, fair enough, if he feels as though he can do it. David Norris does continue on those softs, convincing me that might be a little bit more intentional than he let on, or than we would think, because softs is just, it's an interesting call here. Whether it's a good call or not is another question. But yeah, I'm not sure what the decision making was behind that. Robert and Chaz and Hoppy might be coming in this lap, are they, as we head round to the first corner. Robert continues on. Chaz continues on. Hoppy, is he going to come into the pits and try and do something different from P3 as he heads around the final corner of the Mercedes? Does he start lap number 12 or lap number 11 in the pits? No, he doesn't. He continues on. They're stretching these mediums a long time. A very, very long time, I think it's fair to be said. And, well, Robert and Chaz, fair enough, because they are only really in a fight with each other for that race lead. Nobody else is really anywhere closer than pace-wise, at least. So maybe even if they hold on for that stint, then they will be fighting ahead of everybody else, most likely. So, yeah, it is what it is. And Briar's picking up another penalty. He is not racing how he would have wanted to here today, unfortunately for him. And what is that? Is that 9 seconds, I think? Yeah, it is 9. Luke Racer with 6. Floyd Pink getting past Chuck Norris with DRS down the main straight. And the Ferrari up into P6. The Williams drops to P7. And they will have now an opportunity to push with that second dose of DRS away from Chuck Norris. Will he be able to, though, is another question. And no, I think Chuck Norris has superior straight line speed, which means that he's just going to sit in behind for the time being. Maybe even take an opportunity down the inside if Floyd Pink runs wide. No, just staying in. No, he is going to go for a move. As he made a late lunge there. The Williams pulling alongside Floyd Pink. Could be sweeping around the outside. Does make that move. And Chuck Norris moves up ahead of Floyd Pink once again. But the Ferrari doesn't fight too badly because of the fact that he's going to get that DRS, so he won't mind. DJ Vibes gets past Hoppy, who does finally come into the pits for a set of the hards. But Robert Newbert and Chaz still staying out. Still not coming in for a set of the hards. They might be trying to extend this stint. And extend it as long as they possibly can, as I'm muted to go and sit back in my chair, and then instantly sat back in my, it's unmuted and sat back in my chair because I have the loudest chair known to man. Floyd Pink and Chuck Norris swapping positions once again. Floyd Pink with that DRS getting on through and heads up into P number 6. Chuck Norris potentially looking down the inside, decides against it, just stays in P7. And with DRS down the second straight, he may be trying to have another go. Or they might just be settling in to P6 and P7, which I would suggest is sensible. Them sitting in formation. I don't think there's anything to be gained out of fighting at this point. But there's also nothing to be lost out of fighting apart from that 4.9 second gap to Briars, who has a penalty. Floyd Pink and Chuck Norris are penniltyless at the moment. So I don't think they will have any issues fighting as it stands. Davey Norris, with that gamble, that weird gamble onto a set of the softs, has closed into the DRS of Hoppy. And, well, he might not get it on this lap, but he will certainly get it on the next lap. No, he does get it on this lap, and that means he has the opportunity to close in to the Mercedes up in front. He's got 4-lap-old softs now, and he's trying to challenge 1-lap-old hards. A good contest, especially around Mexico, where the softs do not last long at all. And the second DRS straight could be where he tries to make his move as Chuck Norris gets back past Floyd Pink, but no. They stay in formation, and it looks as though Chuck Norris got them through with the DRS as well. And, well, Floyd Pink trying to close in on the exit, but he doesn't have that DRS. Hey, guys, do you guys only do F1? Yes, we indeed do only do F1. But there is plenty of ACC leagues out there, and plenty that I commentate as well. But nothing on this channel as of yet. Chuck Norris, poor exit. Floyd Pink trying to sweep around the outside. Can he make this move? No. Again, he just doesn't quite get that power down. and stays in behind in P7, while Davy Norris closes in on MCH for P4. Chuck Norris running ahead of Floyd Pink. For the time being, the Williams ahead of the Ferrari. Floyd Pink looking to go around the outside line into the stadium section, and he does make that move. Stick the Ferrari now up to P6. The DRS, though, is handed to Chuck Norris, who's going to try and get back through. Rob Newbert and Chaz going another lap on the set of those mediums. Wide out of the final corner goes Floyd Pink. Through goes Chuck Norris, who ends up moving into P7, but with the straight lines, or P6, but with the straight line speed, tries to get back past. Briers retires from the session, and that is a very, very hypocritical retirement from him. Unless he had issues, he should not be retiring, because there's points on offer, and every single point counts. Luke Racer picking up another penalty. I believe that takes him up to 9 as Chaz finally does dive into the pits. But Rob Newbert continues on with that older and older set of the medium compound of tyres. Surely then nearing puncture level as Davy Norris finally makes his way past Hoppy into the final section. That setup is horrendous. I physically can't hold the car, says Briers. Legit feels like I'm on ice. Well, where on earth did you get your setup from? Is what I shall ask you. That is my counter question. DJ Vibes getting past Chaz around the outside as there's a little bit of carnage going on there as that was Briers' retired car. DJ Vibes getting all caught up with the Aston Martin as he retired from the session, and now he tries to fight with the other Aston Martin, this time for real, as that just cost DJ Vibes a little bit of time, which means that he couldn't blast past Chaz on the new set of hards, and now his set are a little bit warmed in. Is he going to be able to make this move before Chaz gets up to speed? It doesn't look like he will do it into the S's. He's going to hold on to that position. Chuck Norris around the outside, sweeping through, and Floyd Pink, who picks up a 3-second time penalty, and the Williams heads on through into P number 6. So a good move as Robert Newbert finally dives into the pit lane. Chuck Norris dives down the inside of Floyd Pink. Can he make this move stick? He is almost going to hold on to it, and there we go, sweeping through, confirming P6 for him as Robert Newbert is going to come out of the pits now. Chaz is leading DJ Vibes as they head out of the final corner and down the main straight one more time. Robert is coming out of the pits, and that overcut has worked sensationally. You can see that gap on the minimap between himself and Chaz, and just confirmation that it is 3.2 seconds, but DJ Vibes could play a huge role in this battle, as that was a reset to track from Davy Norris. It's worked. I can't criticise it because it's worked from Davy Norris, who finally does come into the pits. Mediums, I reckon he's going to go on to hards. Would make sense. Hards it is. This track is vile, never racing it again. Well, I will see you again next week, Briers, here in Mexico. No, it's not the greatest circuit in my opinion in the world, but it is what it is. And there's some aspects to it that I do really like. I like the fact that it is the highest altitude circuit. I like the fact that there is 3 DRS zones, 2 of which backing onto each other, 1 of which only has a few corners in between. I like the stadium section in itself as a whole. I like the S section. What's next week? Well, it's not Mexico. It'd be funny if it was Mexico. What is next week? As we have a look at the calendar. As Chaz gets past DJ Vibes with the DRS, it's going to be Spielberg. It's Austria. And then Jeddah, Spa, Silverstone and Bahrain. So, ending off the season with what should be a nice track, decent, should provide some great racing. Then Jeddah, then Spa, which nice open track, should provide some racing. Silverstone, same, and Bahrain, very well-rounded circuit. So, a decent run-in. No, it's not China. It's Spielberg. There is no China on the calendar. What are you thinking of? Are you thinking of RL, potentially? Not sure. I'll have a look. Hang on. I'll have a look. Season calendar. No, they had China a month ago. So, he's deleted the comment. He's deleted the comment. We both saw it, Briers, and you know it. I saw it. You saw it. Floyd Pink closing in on Chuck Norris, could be looking down the inside. Just stays in China as an option. That makes sense. But yeah, Austria shouldn't be too bad of a race. If you want my honest opinions on China, don't like it. But Austria should be decent to throw up a couple of interesting results. In terms of the rest of the season as well, I feel like the last 3 tracks are pretty similar in Spa, Britain, and Bahrain. I feel like they're all power heavy. I would have thrown Austria in later on. I think I would have also thrown Brazil in later on. But I am somebody who firmly believes that Brazil should be the last race, and I am unwilling to budge on that. So there is that as well, as Floyd Pink gets past Chuck Norris one more time and moves up once again into P number 5. These two, the only drivers within DRS, as we've passed the halfway mark of this race. And, well, Floyd Pink will be trying to... You won't be doing silver, Bryce. Ugh, why not? Home race, no? Also potentially won't be around next Sunday. Don't know why that's relevant to DCD, but it's relevant to IRL. Because I'm actually at real life Silverstone. So that's a fun fact of the day for you. I'm there on Saturday. DJ Vibes texting while driving again, saying could do with a safety car. Yeah, just closing. What, as in you physically can't race it? Floyd Pink getting past Chuck Norris. But Chuck Norris trying to fight him back down the inside. Floyd Pink sweeping around the outside, holding onto that position. And that's a good move in there from the Ferrari. But Chuck Norris will get that DRS once again down the main straight. And we'll have that inside line. It wasn't a great exit from Floyd Pink, but neither from Chuck Norris, who tried to take that inside line too early and just tried to get that power down a little bit too early, sitting in behind. But pulling alongside now, just tucking back in. He's going to try and make his way through down the inside. Goes Chuck Norris on Floyd Pink. Can he hold on to it? Yes, he can. And he seals that position as well. On the exit, Floyd Pink is going to try and fight back, but there's not really much he can do against that ever-powerful DRS on Chuck Norris's car, especially because the Williams, I think, has the highest straight line speed of all of the cars in this, in here. Tell you what, we'll probably end up doing it. Yeah, fair. Tell you what we'll do. Top speeds of all the cars. So, Robert Newbert, about 188. Chaz, that was 188. Dropping down to like 185. DJ Vibes, 194. So DJ Vibes has insane straight line speed in comparison to everybody else. Bearing in mind as well that this could be ERS affected. 186 for Hoppy, so he goes sort of in the mid pack, and then you've got Chuck Norris and Floyd Pink who are still fighting. They're going to go down the straight. We're going to see how fast they are going down that straight. The highest we've got so far is 194 from DJ Vibes. The slowest we've got is, I believe it was 186 from Chaz. Could this be the slowest that we get? No, ticking over to 187. 188. Slipstream for 196 for Floyd Pink. So he's going an easy 10 miles an hour faster with that straight line speed and that slipstream as well. Luke Racer going 192. Davey Norris, of course, using overtakes, he's going to be so much quicker. He's listening and he's trying to win that competition. 201 miles per hour is what he peaked at. But interesting to look at that sort of little menu there. Try and get a little bit more info as we continue on racing. Into the pits again comes DJ Vibes, who switches from his set of the hard compound tyres, which clearly, I presume according to him, felt horrible, to a set of the mediums, which he's going to try and take 15 laps. Now that's a stretch. I think anything longer, and he would have had a puncture. Anything shorter, I think he would be all right. So I think he's going to be okay, but I don't think they're going to be pacey. And I think if he pushes them too hard, he is going to be nearing puncture levels. Luke Racer, another 3-second time penalty in what has been not the greatest race in the world for him. Mediums also don't work on this track. I think that's a fair point. So it was an interesting switch, but clearly DJ Vibes feels comfortable enough on a set of the mediums that he reckons he can stay out and fight on them. Floyd Pink not able to get past Chuck Norris with the DRS, but he's going to have another crack down this straight. And yeah, there we go. He does open it now, closing in 0.3, 0.2 now, down to just the 1. Is he going to be able to get past on the inside? Not quite. So he's going to have to wait once again till the main straight. Probs didn't help you. The mediums. I mean, everyone was on the mediums at the start, so I think that might have just been a skill issue, Bryce, if I'm honest with you. But no, they go off so quickly. So I don't know, that David Norris stint felt stupidly long, that one on those softs, because he ended up going for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 laps on those softs, which is an insanely long amount of time considering he went on for 8 laps on those mediums. Bryce is saying he should have been hard. Well, thanks for letting me know that you're not, but yeah, sorry, bad joke. Floyd Pink is back in the DRS of Chuck Norris. He's going to try. Never let me make a joke again. Especially when the setup's constantly making you slide. Yeah, I feel like you need the grippiest tyre in that scenario. So I feel like mediums would have been alright. I think a two-stop could potentially work. Medium, soft, mediums. But I don't know. I feel like hard, soft was the way to go. But of course, these are the sort of things you learn on the fly. And these are the sort of things that I can't really have an opinion on as the commentator. Because I am not down there. And those of you who watch my streams certainly know that I will not be down there for a very long time, at the very least. And listen, let me cook. Let me cook for real. But no, there's... yeah, it is going to be very interesting towards the end of this session to see who pulls those gaps out, is able to make those tyres last all the way to the very end. Oh well, Austria, I know my setup works well. Austria is a pretty fun one. Austria, I feel like wheel really has an advantage, Bryce, so let me know, are you on wheel? But yeah, I feel like wheel has a significant advantage at Austria. Just because you can throw the car a lot more, which is the main, on this game at least, aim of the game. Just throwing the wheel as hard as you can and then recovering it is what I pick up. It's the strategy that you have to do. But every time I do that on live stream, everybody says, no, that's rubbish. So, again, what do I know? What do I know? There's, tell you what I do know, Floyd Pink is now out of the DRS of Chuck Norris. That could be quite big in terms of them fighting and in terms of the gap as well that they have. So I don't know. I don't know, man. Big gap between these two, and it's growing and growing and growing. David Norris, 3-second time penalty. Not the first, but probably won't be the last 3 for DJ Vibes, Chuck Norris, and David Norris has, well, Chuck Norris almost span into the pits. It has been a clean race tonight, which is good. We've got DCD back underway after what happened last week, but we don't talk about last week. Okay? We don't talk about it. Never, ever happened. But yes, Floyd Pink back in the DRS of Chuck Norris. Closing, closing, closing. Inside line, nope. Stays behind. Big slide there for Chuck Norris, but he didn't go, which meant that Floyd Pink couldn't take the opportunity. And it means that the Ferrari still sits in behind the Williams, but a huge mistake there from Chuck Norris. Could open the door up to Luke Racer to get involved in this battle as well. Floyd Pink just had to sit behind. There was nothing he could do. But these two are continuing on. Luke Racer 2.3 seconds back in P7. If my setup wasn't screwed, I'd be fine, says Bryce, and I think that happens a lot as Chuck Norris goes very, very, very wide and does well, actually, to not make contact with Luke Racer. I'm sure there's a bit of ghosting going on there from the Williams, but Bryce has called it unsafe rejoin. I don't know if it was an unsafe rejoin because he was sort of already off the circuit and just sort of bouncing back on. Chaz, 3-second time penalty. But well, that will be discussed in the stewards' room if they so decide. If they so decide, that is what they're going to do with that appeal. At 26-36, Robert Newbert holds on to the lead of this race, and he is dominated. Just look at, read 'em and weep, folks. Read 'em and weep. He's setting 116s on the hards. He's setting 116s on the hards. In this stint, Chaz has set 2 116 times. I don't think anybody else has set a singular one. That is insane. Oh, DJ Vibe 16999. So he was in it. So only DJ Vibes, Chaz, and Robert Newbert have been setting 16s. Robert Newbert has done it the entire lap. Don't think he's going to do it this lap or the entire stint. I think he's going to be dipping into the 17s this lap, but he has had insane pace throughout this race, and it's just incredible stuff. Unless he can find 3/10, of course, in that final sector. He hit his side pod, but nothing serious. Yeah, 17.3 there. I do think it was bad contact in terms of you don't want contact, but at the same time, I really don't think it was. I don't think he intended to rejoin like that, if that makes sense. It'll be up to them to see if they report it, because they are, at the end of the day, the ones who are admins. So, we shall see. DJ Vibes down the main straight once again. It will just be down to Bryce and the external stewarding guy as to who came out on top in that incident, I'm guessing. Down the straight comes DJ Vibes, closing in on Hoppy in P3. Can he make this move stick? Is he going to do it into turn 1? No, not. Of course it wasn't intentional. I'd never accuse Chuck Norris of such a thing. Around the outside, DJ Vibes looks, but he can't quite make that move. And, well, he holds on in behind MCH as the gap between Robert Newbert and Chaz jumps up to 10 seconds. That is DJ Vibes making his way through. MCH or Hoppy even trying to fight back around the outside for DJ Vibes, and he seals that position. Davey Norris up into P6 and getting past Chuck Norris, who was in P7. He was fighting for P5 just a couple of laps ago. But yeah, big mistake. Meant that he ended up dropping down. Luke Racer gets past Chuck Norris, who is into pits once again. I'm sounding like, what's his name? Alex, the commentator that IRL had last week. And, you know, he's the main commentator as well for FVR. For FVR. But yeah, is it FVR? No, it's FZR. I forgot. Anyway, MTH, Hoppy. I will remember. I promise. I will. But he's in that DRS of DJ Vibes ahead. Can he make his way through? There's yellows again in Sector 1. That may well be DJ Vibes who's having issues. No, it's not. Who is it? It's not DJ Vibes, it's Chuck Norris who's gone round, and he is really struggling right now. What has he done? What's he on? He's on a new set of the mediums, so theoretically he's got pace, but it's whether he can back it up that's a whole nother question for the Williams. The same issues as you? Well, yeah, potentially. Did he use the same setup? Because he may well have done, you may well have communicated it. Hoppy staying just about within that second range of DJ Vibes, and the top two are breezed away, of course. Third and fourth a little bit more contentious. DJ Vibes against MCH, and then everybody else just a cesspit with Chuck Norris now having come into the pits. Luke Racer following him in on this occasion. Lap 29. of 36. Robert Newbert 1.5 seconds ahead. I started commentating that like a Big Brother episode. As that's Chuck Norris pulling off to the side, letting them through. Lap 29 of 36. No, they wouldn't say that, would they? They'd just say lap 39. Robert leads this race by an absolute mile. Chaz leads P3 by an absolute mile. And then it's 30 seconds back to DJ Vibes. And then a further 30 seconds back to Floyd Pink. So there are huge gaps out here. And then Davy Norris as well, 28.7 seconds ahead of Loot Racer in 7th place, especially with Loot Racer having the amount of penalties he's got to be down there is going to be not greatest decision in world, but it is what it is. F125 looking really promising. I hope so. If not, it's gonna ruin the series forever. I don't think EA Sports will ever be able to recover from F126 if it flops. And I have a sneaking feeling it will. However, I am thinking as well that it's all going to be down to F126 more because those new regs and all those sorts of things. Because I won't lie, I was having this discussion earlier on with somebody. There's yellow flags. Chuck Norris has retired in the pits. But I was having this discussion earlier with somebody, and I was saying that I don't think... I think it hinges all on 26, and I was talking about it as if it was the next game up. It's not. It's in a couple of games' time, which is my bad. 2 DNFs, yep. Bryars and Chuck Norris, both DNFs in the pits. Wimps and losers, as far as I'm concerned. But we will continue on regardless. Yeah, Robert Newbert leading this one. 11 seconds now. Hoppy has dropped out of the DRS of DJ Vibes. Davy Norris trying to get into the DRS of Floyd Pink, who's been on those hard tyres since, I believe, lap 5. And everybody else just sort of happy where they are. DJ Vibes and Loot Racer on the newer set of mediums. Nowhere really to fight for. I think DJ Vibes is going to struggle towards the end of this race. We could be seeing a battle for P4, or sorry, for P3. R2 DNFs for you this season, Bryars, out of 4. I just can't click yet. There, that's fair enough. It is one of those, you know, you just need that click moment, and then you'll be flying, and I'm sure you will be towards the end of this one. Davy Norris has caught right back up to Floyd Pink, and right all over the back of the Ferrari is the McLaren, as they will head out of the final corner towards turn number 1, and Davy Norris is going to try to seal this position now. He's right in behind. Bit of a wobble from Floyd Pink as he is really feeling that tyre wear. Down the straight they go, with Davy Norris now opening up that rear wing and closing in on Floyd Pink. How close, though, is he going to be able to get? The answer is not entirely, and he's not going to make that move for the time being, just sitting in behind Floyd Pink. And he's happy where he is. But yes, 2 DNFs in this race. 2 DNFs in the season for Bryars. And it's really not gone his way so far. I touched on the championship standings earlier on. Bramble leading that one away with 77 points. And then P2 going to AJLS, who is not racing either this evening. So a couple of proper names that we haven't had race. And, well, Loot Racer, as I mentioned earlier, is first place of those who are driving this evening, and he's sitting down in P7 having a nothing race. So it's up to Hoppy now to try and do what he can. He's 3.3 seconds behind DJ Vibes. DJ Vibes has how many seconds? 6, so he's absolutely fine. It's Davy Norris desperate to make his way past Floyd Pink. It's more interesting to look at the penalty situation, I think, as Davy Norris only on 3, so he doesn't need to get past Floyd Pink if he doesn't want to. He'll feel as though it's his duty to finish there on track, and he's going to try and do so down the main straight one more time. And the McLaren just following that Ferrari through. Pretty happy at the moment. But now down to the inside line for Davy Norris. And he pulls into the lead of this battle, P5 for Davy Norris. And now he gets the opportunity to blast away if he so wants to take it. He's 8 tenths already ahead of Floyd Pink. So That is exactly what I think he is trying to do. So fair play on him. He has been able to build that gap, or he is going to be able to build out that gap, and it's actually not even in DRS range anymore. Fastest lap of the race left at the hands of Robert Newbert. Who took fastest lap? FL. Not him. Certainly not him. Who got fastest lap? Is it still Robert? Am I incorrect? No, not sure. Anyway. DJ Vibes coming into the chat saying he doesn't have enough fuel. Oh, Loop. Yeah, it was. DJ Vibes coming into the chat saying he hasn't got enough fuel to last the rest of the race. 115 is insane, by the way. And that's why you come into the pits again, so you can just pick up those extra brownie points for being on a medium and setting a 115. We head on to what is not the penultimate. What's the one before penultimate? Tripultimate? Tre-ultimate? I don't know. The third to last lap of this race. And well, Robert Newbert leads from Chaz, who hasn't been able to get into that DRS. And then DJ Vibes in P3. Fourth place for Hoppy. Fifth for Davey Norris. Sixth Floyd Pink. And seventh for Luke Race. And unless anything dramatic happens, that is how I would imagine the order will stay. As Robert has absolutely dominated this race, I think it's fair to be said. Warded off all that pressure from Chaz at the start. One lap of a 1:16.0 won him the race, basically, is how I would put it. What is it with all these voice cracks today? Is how I would put it. Even though it's not the fastest lap anymore, in that context, it was absolutely clutch. As nobody else was in that range. Nobody else was even near that range. As I said, the next fastest driver on the medium stint before Luke Racer was Chaz, who set a 16.6 with DRS and ERS assistance. Final, penultimate even, after this Grand Prix. Robert Newbert is going to head on to win this one. We're watching Chaz in P2 with two drivers that he needs to lap, Davey Norris and Floyd Pink. Luke Racer comes into the pits. I think he might be going for a glory run and a fastest lap on a set of softs. There we go. Called it. That Mercedes, though, will only have one lap to do it in. So I don't think he's going to be able to do it. But we'll have to wait and see, as they will head onto the main straight, what they are able to do and what they're capable of. I think they're all capable of some incredible lap times. And, well, that 1:15.993 demonstrates that. Robert with that 1:16.0, though. Still, I'd say trumps the lot. That would be my lap of the day. From what would be my driver of the day? Have I seen the tweet? No. Oh dear, what tweet? Hang on, give me 2 ticks. I've got to see the tweet from, I presume, the EXA Racing League. Oh dear, that's horrible. I hate it. Thanks, though. But yes, thanks, Rolly, for that one. I do appreciate that. That was supposed to be for a comms post, but never mind. Chaz coming up to lap the car in front now. DJ Vibes has no fuel left in that car, and that could potentially be devastating, as the MCH or Hoppy even is only 3 seconds back and will be closing in on him now. Have we got low fuel mode in this game? We'll have to wait and see. Here we do, and it's on hard, so it's going to be difficult for DJ Vibes, and he will be running on fumes as he now has. Apologies, 1 lap left to go in this race, but he heads down the main straight. Robert Newbert will head on to it to finish this race and to take the checkered flag. The Red Bull has absolutely dominated his return to DCD, and he's going to come across the line to take all 25 points home and win here in Mexico. It's P2 for Chaz. It's DJ Vibes running out of fuel. He's lost P3. He may well lose He's not going to lose P4 as Davey Norris comes across the line and Floyd Pink and Loop Racer will do the same as well. But Chaz in P2. Hoppy is in the second sector, showing how much Robert has dominated, because he's almost made it back into the second sector on his own, under AI, celebrating, driving with one hand, which is insane. But yeah, crazy stuff. We will now watch on board with Loop Racer, as he will not get an attempt at his fastest lap that he would have so desired. But around the final corner, he picks up that fastest lap anyway, and he takes the final points position home. No, he did get the fastest lap. He did get enough time in to put a lap in, and he came home with a 1:15.7, 2/10 quicker than his previous lap time. DJ Vibes, who ran out of fuel, ran off of the podium, but he stays in P4. MCH Hoppy even in P3. He's just come across the line now, and he has stopped across the line. I think he's done the thing where you crash across the line, and then DJ Vibes finishing in P4 to round out our finishes. 7 today out of 9. Pretty decent performance, all things considered, from that lot. But yes, victory taken home by Robert Newbert. DJ Vibes getting the driver of the day, but we all know who the real driver of the day was. We all know it was this man on screen here, the Red Bull of Adrian Newey, no, of Robert Newman, who won this race by an absolute country mile. 15 seconds ahead of Chaz, a whole minute ahead of Hoppy. That is domination, and that is your DCD stream. Make sure to subscribe for more commentaries, for more fun videos, all these sorts of things. And until next time, it is goodbye.